Hello and welcome to another Cathartic Cards video. I am so excited to get into this video with you guys, but first please like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear about how your week has been. I've been taking some time away from YouTube so that I could upgrade my setup, and I finally upgraded it. So let's get into the video. First, you will see that I got a new Bloomburrow playmat. This is illustrated by Scott M. Fisher. I really love the colors on this one. I also got sleeves that match kind of like this eucalyptus green right here. And I also already had like light pink sleeves and a lot of blue-green sleeves because I was mostly doing blues and greens before I made my goblin deck, which was pink sleeves. Okay, so getting into these Bloomburrow play boosters. I've had these sitting on my counter for a while, so I am a little bit excited. Let me get in here. Perfect. Really fighting with this one. There we go. Okay. Let me pull this out here. First, we have Tender Wild Guide. It's our token. Psychic Whirl as our foiled common. Target opponent discards 2 cards, then if you control a rat, surveil 2, which is looking at the top 2 cards of your library, then putting any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest on the top of your library in any order. We have a swamp. Our first mythic, we have Helga, Skittish Seer. This is a legendary creature frog druid. With whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, you draw a card, gain a life, and put a +1/+1 counter on this card. You can also tap to add X mana of any one color, where X is the power of this card, and spend this mana only to cast creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or creature spells with X in their mana costs. This is an amazing frog druid that I have seen circulating in Bloomburrow, but I have not really seen it played a lot. I honestly would love to make a commander deck around these colors. I'm really familiar with green, white, blue. Next we have a rare, Castrel the Wind-Crested. This legendary creature is a bird scout. It has flying, and whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. You may put a bird creature card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on each bird you control, or draw a card. This would be also great for a bird deck, or like a mainly flying deck. Fireglass Mentor. This is a lizard warlock. At the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them. Until the end of turn, you may play that card. Alright, moving on, we have Brazen Collector. This is a raccoon rogue with first strike, and whenever it attacks, you can add a red. Until the end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. That's pretty great, especially when playing red. Feed the Cycle. This is an instant that, as an additional cost to this spell, you can either forage or pay black. To forage, exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. You can destroy target creature or planeswalker. I love that. Okay, Bravekin Duo. I've seen this one before. A rabbit and a mouse. Pay 1 to tap. Target creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, and it can only be activated as a sorcery. Rush Shield Rampager. It has Offspring 2. You may pay an additional 2 as you cast the spell. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. That's some Raccoon Warrior vibes right there. Alright, conduct electricity. It deals 6 damage to target creature and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature token. Okay, so that is kind of a card that would be able to get rid of Rush Shield Rampager. Alright, next, Head of the Homestead. When it enters, create 2 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. 2 1/1s for 5 mana, little steep. Thistledown players. Whenever it attacks, untap target non-land permanent. This is going to go great in my Amara deck. Skyskipper Duo. Flying. Whenever this card enters, exile up to one other target creature you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And lastly, we have Scales of Shale. This is a instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each lizard that you control, and target creature gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink and indestructible until the end of turn. Alright, moving into that second pack here. Maybe this one will open up a little bit easier for me. And of course, we get a cute rabbit creature token right there. Our foiled common is a lizard otter, so Kindle Spark Duo. It deals 1 damage to target opponent when you tap it, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can untap Kindle Spark Duo. That's pretty great for an instant and sorcery deck. We have a mountain. This is a gorgeous mountain. You can see the yellow butterflies down at the bottom. All right, and we've pulled a Camellia, the Seed Miser. This card is a Squirrel Warlock. It's a legendary creature. It has Menace, and other squirrels you control have Menace. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more foods, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. You can pay 2 to forage and put a +1/+1 counter on each other squirrel you control. A reminder that forage is sacrificing a food or exiling 3 cards from graveyard. I'm so excited to have another one of these. I did pull one on a video a little while back, but I do have a couple decks that she can go in. So next we have Stormcatch Mentor. This otter wizard has haste and prowess, so whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn, as well as instant and sorcery spells costing 1 less to cast. This will be great for an instant and sorcery deck as well. I have a couple red-blue instant and sorcery decks. Next is Overprotect. I love the art for this card. Who is this? Pavel Kolovets? I'm sure I butchered that, but I love your artwork for this. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until the end of turn. Very overprotective. I love it. Next, we have Eddy Merc Crab. This is an elemental crab with flash. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, and it enters tapped if it's not your turn. When it does enter, tap up to 2 target creatures. This would also be great for that red-blue instant sorcery. Rabbit Response. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until the end of turn. If you control a rabbit, scry 2. Treetop Sentries. Let's see here. Squirrel Archer. It has reach, and whenever it enters, you may forage. If you do, draw a card. I love the art for this too. Who's this? Iris Compete? Sorry, I can't see if that was an L or an I. Alright, take out the trash. Deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If you control a raccoon, you may discard a card, and if you do, draw a card. Pond Prophet. When it enters, you can draw a card. It's a pretty cool little frog advisor, 2 mana. Finch Formation. Offspring 3. You may pay an additional 3 as you cast the spell. If you do, when it enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. Flying. When this creature enters, target creature you control gains flying until the end of turn. Early Winter. This instant is 5 mana and allows you to choose one, either exile target creature or target opponent exiles an enchantment they control. Some enchantment exiling there. That's pretty great. Life Creed Duo, flying. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain a life. That's pretty great. It's a bat and a bird together. And Light Shell Duo, Rat and Otter, has prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. When this creature enters, surveil 2. So you can look at the top 2 cards of your library and then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on the top of your library in any order. Well, I'd say that we got some pretty great pulls from these 2 packs. I think that, of course, Camilla and for Camellia, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. These few are going to be, I think, the most usable legendary creatures that we grabbed. And I'm really excited to maybe make a frog deck with Helga. I have been collecting some Bloomburrow cards, so I have been getting some more frogs, and then I have squirrels, which I wanted squirrels, so I guess it might be time to make a frog deck too. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you like my new playmat. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Please subscribe.